Okay, we are live now. All right, welcome. Oh, where's my face? Welcome to class. Let's all start today lying on our backs, please. And lie all the way down onto your back. Knees up, feet flat to the floor. That helps to alleviate pressure in the lower back. So adjust your feet to a position where the knees can comfortably rest together or just point straight up. Arms to your sides, let shoulders broaden and relax towards the ground. Or maybe you want to bring your hands onto your belly, whatever feels more comfortable for you today. Dropping in, let your head feel heavy, resting down. Easy breaths. Just taking this time to reduce your awareness into this space. So refining your attention. Just doing a bit of a scan through your body, checking out how everything feels today, anything that's particularly calling your attention, any sort of tightness or niggles in your body, maybe something you just want to kind of wriggle out or stretch a bit. And bringing attention to our breath as usual. It's often the easiest way in to connect with the present moment is simply by following your breath as it draws into your body and as it leaves your body. So we'll stay here for a few cycles of breath. Easy in, nice and smooth and full. And softly out without any force. We're not trying to push the breath out, just letting it release softly and slowly. A little more relaxation with each breath. So something that you might have been holding on to, some tension, tightness in the body, just letting that relax now. Just around 2 more mindful breath cycles. Deeply in and slowly out with a little softness at the end of the breath. And we'll just bring the arms a bit wider out to your sides and drop knees over to one side, keep your feet touching the floor. So just letting the knees fall across. You can readjust somehow if you need to. Pausing here for a couple more breath cycles. Just notice what you feel, if there's any sort of tightness somewhere in your body, maybe a bit of stretch at the front of the hip or the quad muscle. Could be something else that you're feeling somewhere, some kind of feedback. And then taking your time, we'll bring these over to the other side. We can drop across. Is this side feeling any different? Do you feel it in a different place or the different level of pressure or tightness? And we'll move to the first side again. We're going to keep rocking from one side to the other. So take it as slow as you like, or maybe you want a continuous movement where we just keep bringing these over to one side and then the other. Just kind of feel it out. If you want to hold, then stay. Maybe you want to keep moving and roll across the back of your pelvis. If you've got that continuous movement, how would it feel to move with your breath? As we draw breath in through center and release the breath out as the knees drop. Breath in through center, breath out as we lower. And then we'll settle back through centre, so with knees up and feet back to the floor. And this time we're just going to let the right knee fall out to the side. So the left knee still stays pointing upwards. Now try not to roll off the hips this time. So we want to try and keep the hips fairly square. So you could bring your hands to the front of your hips if that helps, or just leave them at your sides if you prefer. Now you could stay as you are, or the knee that's bent up, you could slide that leg out long. So it's kind of like we're in a tree pose if we were standing. We've got one leg bent out to the side and one leg out long. And a few options again, that long leg, you could just have the foot relaxed, or you could actually be pushing the heel away from you. So it's more like you're standing if you were in an upright position. Hands could be on hips or just drop them at your sides. So there might just be just a wee bit of tension in the abdominals just to help keep the pelvis square so that we're not kind of falling over to the side. But also a little softness in the body so there's ease of breath. And then we'll sweep the arms on the ground overhead, so they're reaching above you but touching the ground or floating just off the ground. You might even want to link your thumbs just to stretch out long. We'll stay here for a couple of breaths. Notice if you're still kind of rolling towards the knee that's bent to the side, and you keep the pelvis more level. And then just sweeping arms down your sides again. And bend both knees up to the centre. So we're just going to reset. To the other side this time. So the left knee falls out to the side. So let it drop over. And you might find that your pelvis tries to move with it. So let's see if we can just get a little bit of tension, just enough in the abs to keep your pose nice and steady and level. And then you've got the option of extending the top knee as well. So have a wee play with whether you are flexing that bottom foot as though you were standing on it, or maybe just to relax that leg. And bringing in the arms, breathe them overhead. Maybe lick the thumbs and the out breath. Just a little softness around the chest and shoulders. How would it feel to stretch your arms a bit more energetically away from you and to push the heel away? Just another breath. And then arms come down your sides and return to where we started with the knees bent up. And this time we'll bring hands to thighs and just gather the knees up towards you. Let shoulders fall again so there's no tension creeping in around the chest or throat. And then bring your left foot to the floor and we'll send the right leg up high. Now you can keep a bend in the knees, especially depending on how tight you are through the back of the leg. And you can hold maybe behind the thigh or up around the calf if you can reach. So don't feel like you have to get the leg perfectly straight, but do try and send your heel up towards the ceiling. So flexing the foot a little, toes pulling back towards you. Try to keep the back of your hips connected to the floor. Let your shoulders relax. Stay and breathe. And then with your right hand, you're just going to grab hold of the outside of the foot. So bend your knee as much as you need to and bring the knee out to the side. So we're in a half happy baby pose. You might like to bring your left hand to the front of your hip just to keep it level. If that feels really too intense, you can bend the knee even more. So we're just letting the knee come down towards the side ribs. And again, make sure you're not rolling towards it. So the back of the pelvis is square to the ground, level on the floor. So there might be just a little bit of tension in the body to help maintain your pose. So it's not a completely relaxed position. And then this top foot is going to hook across the thigh and the bench knee pushes away from you. You can stay in this position or you could reach through and grab under the bottom thigh. So gently pull it towards you, creating some tension between the ankle and the thigh to just intensify the stretch that you're probably going to be getting around the outer hip. Make sure again that the shoulders and chest relaxed. So the tendency could be to kind of tense up around that part around the throat and chest. Keep the collarbones broad. Let the breath flow with ease. Okay, and then keeping your legs where they are, just release the arms and close your thighs together so the right leg is crossed over the top. Hands come onto the knees and just gently hug the knees towards you, but without curling the hips off the ground. So we want to keep the back of the hips connected to the floor and hands just applying a little bit of pressure to the knees to bring them in close. Check again around your chest, shoulders, throat, relaxing if you need to. Notice other things too, like if you grip your jaw, clench your jaw, or kind of grimace, that's the expression on your face. And we'll release out slowly with this pose and unhook the top knee. One hand onto each knee again and just gently guide them towards you. You could hold still or you could just rock from side to side a few times if you prefer movement. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So we've got the right foot on the floor, left leg comes up, just as bent as you need. So you're feeling quite tight, then you might want a generous knee bend here. Holding the thigh or calf. Actively press the back of your pelvis into the floor and start to send your heel up towards the ceiling. That's how we start to create more length up the backs of the legs, up the back of the leg. Keep returning your focus to your breath. So let that be the anchor for your attention today. Each time you notice that your attention is wandering, this is where we'll come back to. And then left hand reaches up to the outside of the foot, bending your knee a little bit wide so that it comes towards your side ribs. Keeping the hips anchored to the ground. And allow your belly to soften so there's space to breathe deeply all the way down into your abdomen. And then we'll bring the foot to the thigh, keeping your knee wide, and push it gently away from you. So you could stay in this position with the foot down and the shoulders resting back, or you can hold behind the thigh, but try to broaden your shoulders again so that you're not all hunched and scrunched in. Actively working the knee away from you to intensify the stretch and creating that resistance between the ankle and the thigh. And then we'll close the thighs together. So we've got the left thigh over the top, hands on each knee, a little bit of pressure just to pull them in towards you. And even as you pull them in, can you then just soften back a little so that it's not all about the effort. It's a little less effort, a little more ease. Just relax where you need to. Maybe it's your jaw, your throat, your chest, ribs. Check in with your breath, make sure it flows easily in your body. And then we'll release out slowly and come and roll over and up to a seated position. This into hands and into cross legs. So you can close your eyes if you want to, or soften your eye gaze just ahead of you. Hands come onto your knees or in your lap, whatever feels more comfortable. Get that sense of broadening across the shoulders, but without pulling them back hard. Sense of lengthening up through the crown of the head. We're kind of aligning from the pelvis to the rib cage to the hip position. Just in your mind, kind of feel the way your body is arranged. Easy breaths. Feel your whole rib cage expanding with each breath. And let it all soften down again with each out breath. Notice any gripping around the hips, the groin area, any tightness somewhere in the body. See how easeful your pose can be. I'm going to start with some neck movements, thinking about an infinity sign, so like a figure of 8 on its side. And we want to draw that shape with our nose. So the nose goes down and around up, and then down, around up to the other side. So just take it as slow as you like. If you really want to kind of feel it out, you might start to explore more angles. You might start out a bit more two-dimensional and then gradually start to turn the head a little more. Maybe you want to slow it right down. Looking out any tightness. There might be some spots where you feel some resistance. Notice if something else tightens up in your body when you're not paying attention. And then can you reverse the movement so you're actually going in the opposite direction? You're going to slow it right down again. And eventually just working your way back into a neutral position, eyes closed if you're comfortable with that. Take a moment to recenter, refocus, feel into your body again, bring your whole attention into this space, into your pose, to your breath, to your body. Okay, and then bringing one hand to the opposite knee. Put the other hand behind and just broaden across your chest, gently rotate. If the other knee creeps up towards you, just let it drop open. Stay for another long breath cycle. And then float around to the other side. So hand to opposite knee, other hand comes behind, just prop it into a position to stabilize, and gently turn your head. Turning to face the front again, one hand onto each knee. Take a moment to recenter, refocus. And then drop fingertips to either side of you on the ground and bring one hand up and over, big side stretch. Start to lean in towards the thigh that's closest to you and float fingertips to the ground. Stay and breathe. And then just reverse out of it, so arm floats up. This time pull your arm back over to the diagonal, float fingertips to the floor and the front arm comes up. Just curve across. So if we're not collapsing here, we're sitting up really tall, stretch your fingertips away from you. And then reset. Just bring the fingertips either sides on the ground. This time the other arm comes up and over. Stay for a breath. And then tipping over the thigh. Hand comes to the floor just ahead of you. And then reverse out of it so the arm comes up and over, pull it back to the diagonal. And then hand comes to the floor and the front arm lifts. Notice if you've tensed up around the hips, that the knees drop open. And then reversing out of it again and bring one hand onto each knee and just take a moment to recenter, refocus again. All right, come on over to hands and knees. So stack your knees directly under your hips. Spread your fingers, plant your hands so that the wrists come under your shoulders. Okay, send your right foot up so the toes point straight up to the ceiling. Bring the knee under and curl it in towards you. Toes come up again. Eye gaze just ahead. And then the knee comes under. Bring it up close to your body and then take a big step through into a kneeling lunge. I want to slide the foot just a little bit further forward, so as you sink your hips, we want to keep the shin vertical so the knee stacks over the heel, just so you can be heavy in the heel. Keep your fingertips on the floor, just sinking in. And then pull your hips back, lengthening up through the back of the leg again. So think about lengthening your chest forward so that we're not hunching the spine. Bending the front knee, drop on it, and then add a twist. So we'll plant the left hand to the floor and send the right arm high. Hand comes down, and just reset on your hands and knees. Send the left foot up. And then knee comes through, bring it up close towards your chest. Send toes up. And knee comes through, bring it up really close and take a huge step forward. Maybe slide it an extra step forward, depending on how far your hips sink down in the pose. Fingertips stay either sides, just easing in. Stay and breathe. Hold for another breath here. And then slide your hips back. So you can either keep the foot flat or you can lift the toes, whatever feels better to you. Think about sending your tailbone back, lengthening out through the lower spine, and also lengthening the chest forward so that we're not hunching and curling. Stay and breathe. And then flatten the front foot. Sinking in again, add your twist, floating the left arm up. Touch down, front hands and knees. Okay, and then power down into your hands, tucking toes under and send your hips up, high into a downward facing dog. You might want to pedal the legs, bending one knee, straightening the other, or you can hold still, whatever feels best to you. Creating movement today, or just holding still and exploring the pose. Okay, reset. Send your right leg up. Coming forward, knee up towards your chest, shoulders over wrists, and try and lift your thigh right up close to your body. Send the leg up. Going forward again, thigh towards chest, and then take a big step into a full lunge position where we keep the back knee off the ground. So fingertips stay on the floor if you can reach, or if you are struggling to get that low, you can bring forearm to thigh. And we're just going to stay for a couple of breaths here. Keep the back leg strong. You might be feeling a big stretch up through the front of the hip. Somewhere else around the hips, depending on where you're tight in your body. And then pull your hips back. Keep as much of a bend in the front knee as you need to, but try to focus on sending the tailbone up and back and lengthening your chest forward so that we're not hunching into the spine. So if it's a real challenge to have your hands on the floor, then you can climb on up to your thigh or maybe just halfway up. There's always variations if you need. Bend the front knee and let's add our twist. So right arm comes up, back leg powerful as you rotate. Hand comes down, feet step back. Either hold for a couple of breaths or pedal on the spot. And this time, left knee lifts. Coming forward. So lifting thigh up towards your chest. Send the leg up. Coming through again. One more lift. And a big step through. So you can stay down here with your fingertips on the floor or climb up to the thigh if you need a bit more support. And then pull your hips back. Really think about sending the tailbone up and back rather than having it tucked down. So lengthening out through the lower back. Always climb higher up the thigh if you need to. Also notice the position of your head, whether you tend to drop it or jut the chin forward. See how long you can be through the back of the neck. And then bending the front knee, let's add our twist. Okay, touch down, step back to your downward facing dog. Little on the spot. Send your right leg high again. This time we're going to bend the top knee. Rotate your hips open so the knee pushes up towards the ceiling. Try not to twist the bottom leg so you've got the kneecap still pointing back towards you. Bring the weight evenly into both hands so the shoulders are square. Okay, shifting forward, this time the knee comes up towards your elbow. Little lift, so it's like we're trying to lift the knee up towards the shoulder. Sweeping up and over to a three-legged dog. And this time we're going to step outside the hinge. Make sure it's all the way forward. You've got a choice here. You can keep the back knee off the ground or you can lower it down just if you need a little bit more intensity. You can be on your fingertips or on the palms of your hands. Or if you want to come all the way down to your forearms, feel free to go there, but try to move with your hips first. So if you find that you're on your forearms, but your hips are way up here, you can be taking yourself out of the stretch. So let's see how long we can be all the way up through the torso. Lengthening the chest forward. Easy breaths. And then everyone come back up to your hands. Back knee off the ground, so tuck your toes if you need to. Let's add a twist, but you see the right arm high. Hand comes inside the foot, and this front foot sweeps up and over to our three-legged dog. And step it down. Let's come to the other side. So sending the left leg high, bend the top knee, allow hips to rotate open. But try not to drop one shoulder, so we'll see how square we can be across the shoulders. Coming forward, knee up towards your elbow, and another little lift, knee up towards the shoulder. Sweeping up and over, three-legged dog. And coming forward again, knee up to elbow, another little squeeze to lift it higher. And a big step forward, just outside the hand. Choosing your option again, you can drop the back knee if you need to. You can stay up on your fingertips, palms of your hands, down to forearms, any variation that feels best to you today. Let's focus on lengthening all the way up through the body. Notice somewhere that it feels like you're collapsing. How long can you be up the front line of the body? Think about lengthening the chest forward. Make sure you're not dropping the head. Stay for another breath. And reset, back knee off the ground, up onto your hands and add your twist. Hand comes down inside the foot, the front leg sweeps up and over to our three-legged dog again. And then touch down. Bend your knees deeply and press your hips back. So moving belly towards thighs into a crouch, feel the strength around your shoulders, and then pushing into the balls of the feet, float forward into a high plank position. So lengthening all the way forward, come back again. Push into feet to float forward, push into hands to come back, and then one more time. This time we're going to hold it in our plank position. Drop your right knee to the floor, spin the foot out to the side, land the left heel, and sweep your left arm high. So pushing your hips forward until the glutes activate. Top arm reaches overhead, over by your ear. Sit. Hand comes to the floor, pass through your plank, and come to the other side. So the left knee drops, the foot turns out, it's just for balance. Heel comes to the ground, so we know that we're squaring the hips to the side. Push them forward, reach the right arm high, and then circle the arm over by your ear. So big long stretch. Hand comes to the ground, pass through your plank again. To the first side, right knee down, left arm up. And we've got the option of floating the left leg off the ground if you feel steady. Top arm over. Hand comes down. Let's smooth it out now, coming to the other side, left leg down. We want that back heel grounded so we know that the hips are square. And then choose if you want to lift it off. Arm stretches overhead. And touch down. We're going to do it one more time on each side. Right knee down, turning open. You've got another option to add here. So lifting off the top leg. Arm reaches overhead and then hold it there. So arm over by your ear. Then if you want to add on, bring your knee and elbow towards each other. So bending them in, that's it. Extend out long again. Pass through your plank and come to the other side. Drop knee, turn open to the side with the option of floating the leg off, reach your arm over, and then if you're adding on again, knee and elbow bend in towards each other. Extend, pass through your plank. Drop your knees, bring them a bit wider, sit your hips right back towards your heels, arms outstretched. Bring your fingers, circle wrists whenever you need. And then coming into a seated position, we're going to finish in seated. So we've got a few minutes here. So from your crossed legs, you might even put the legs over to the other side. So your less dominant leg is in front. One hand onto each knee or in your lap. Bringing your full attention inwards into this space. Letting everything start to calm and quieten. Anchoring onto hips, feeling the way your body is arranged from the pelvis to the ribcage, to the position of your head. Sense of broadening across your shoulders. Feeling ease of breath that draws into the ribcage. And you feel your breath moving all the way down into your abdomen. Sense the gentle rise and fall of the chest. Try to hold your focus just with what's here, focusing your attention. Let's stay just as we are for another deep breath in. Feel it fill your body completely. Release it out really slowly. And we'll just take one more breath to finish, sweeping arms wide and high. Connect at the top. Come down center. Thumbs to your heart space. And thank you so much for joining me today.